class. Today we will be talking about the sneakerhead culture. This culture is made up of people who collect sneakers, often basketball and running shoes, as a hobby. For our presentation, in addition to the questions on the criteria sheet, we'll be talking about the following. Who are key influential figures in this culture? What is the history of this culture? How prevalent is this culture locally? Is this culture relevant in our society today? What are important big brand and items in this culture? How is this culture portrayed in the media? How is this culture perceived by others? What practices are unique in this culture?
Culture is defined as a group of belief systems, norms, and values practiced by people. It can be recognized as such by the practitioners calling themselves a culture and/or by others calling them as one.
Sneakerhead culture is pop culture because it involves a very heterogeneous selection of people. It is widespread and prevalent in many places. The more hyped and popular sneakerhead culture is, the more it grows.
Sneakerhead culture can also be considered a local culture because there are collectors and groups of people who try to preserve it in the old ways. The culture changes every day with new trends and styles growing all the time. But some people will not adapt to the changes. Some will, for example, always only collect one style of shoes. Sneakerhead culture is very much materialistic. Many people buy items for instant gratification. This is not limited to just shoes. Commonly, people will buy items that go along with their outfits, including accessories and clothing. In rare cases, there are people like the man on the right who care about their sneakers for more than their materialistic values. This is Kenny G, a casino owner in California with a net worth of millions. His sneaker collection is widely regarded as among the best in the game. He was a huge collector along with his brother. Ever since his brother passed away, every shoe Kenny has bought has been dedicated to his brother.
Diffusion of this culture is hugely influenced by the media. Other ways it is spread include word of mouth and by people simply wearing sneakers when they go out. Human consumerism plays a large part as well. When people see other people wearing the shoes, they think they might have to get them, or they might have the same kind. This iconic image is based off the movie Fight Club, where it can be perfectly representative of the sneakerhead culture.
Early on, athletes like Chuck Taylor popularized sneaker culture. Commercials also spread the culture in the 1980s. A huge commercial was the Be Like Mike commercial by Nike. Michael Jordan was drafted in 1985 and right away took the NBA by storm with his incredible scoring and high-flying dunks. He also had his own shoe, which itself garnered a lot of attention. The Air Jordan 1 was the first shoe ever designed specifically for an NBA player that did not follow the league's black and white rules. The shoes had red in the colorway, breaking the rule, but making Michael pay a fine of $5,000 every time he wore the shoe. Nike paid the fines as an investment. They knew although that they would lose money in the fines, the attention garnered from this scenario would allow them to make much more money back in sneaker sales. The attention that Jordans got from the NBA, combined with Michael's stellar play in the league, had many kids and teenagers wanting to be like Mike, as shown in the commercial. Nike was able to sell the idea that wearing Jordans would make one play like Michael did, or if people didn't wear Jordans, they weren't cool. The Air Jordan 1 started a new era, because after that, people were dying, in some cases literally, to buy Jordan's subsequent shoes.
People who waited in line all night long to get the new Air Jordan basketball shoes flooded into Lafayette Square Mall just after 7 this morning. They literally broke a door off the hinges.
Rappers as well as athletes play huge roles in advertising sneakers. In the early days of sneakerhead culture, which was in the 1980s, artists such as LL Cool J and Run DMC were hugely popular. They also wore shoes such as the Adidas Superstar, Nike Air Force One, and various Air Jordans. People again wanted to be like their favorite rappers. Today, rappers like Kanye West play the same role. Kanye today is arguably even the most important figure in the spread of sneakerhead culture because of his dominance in the rap world. He has become a fashion icon and has developed his own cult following. His designs, including the Air Yeezy, Louis Vuitton Dawn, and Jasper, are all very expensive and highly coveted. The Air Yeezy, for example, retailed for only $250. That amount may seem already like a lot to some people, but resale value has gone up so high that it's over $5,000 now. Many shoes rise in value when celebrities like Kanye wear them. For example, this Independence Day Air Max 90, I bought for a market value of around $260 more than a year and a half ago. After Kanye started wearing them regularly, prices have increased dramatically. On Flight Club, for example, right here, one of the world's premier sneaker boutiques, it is listed at $950. It is one of hundreds of sneakers that go for multiple times over their retail values. Websites like Flight Club and RIFLA have prices much higher than market value, but many people still buy from them. Commonly, these people will be celebrities, and they are willing to buy the same shoe for higher prices just so that they can brag about paying expensive prices to show off their wealth.
The hearths of sneaker culture are cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, London, Paris, Milan, Amsterdam, Tokyo, and Hong Kong. Styles vary across these cities. There are obviously going to be exceptions in all places, but as a general guideline, East Coast Americans wear Jordans, Air Force Ones, and more high-top shoes. West Coast North Americans tend to wear low shoes such as Air Force Ones and Nike Dunks. In Europe, running shoes are dominant. Popular types and brands are Air Maxes, Asics, and New Balance. In Asia, Bape and Adidas are largely popular. The hearth of sneaking trading, besides in boutiques like Flight Club, exists largely online. Groups such as NDSBG Marketplace act as a middle ground for people all across the world to either buy or sell their shoes or trade. Online sites like this help even across the globe and participate in this culture.
Generally, there are three types of people in the sneakerhead culture. However, it should be known that it is rare to find anybody that fits exclusively in one category. Most people are a mix of all three types. True collectors. So far, our presentation has shown sneakerheads in a negative way, that they are generally shallow, materialistic people. However, there are people who collect shoes for a passion, and each shoe often has a story behind it. They buy shoes that they actually like and will almost never buy anything for an unreasonable price. These people love each shoe they have and admire them for the history, aesthetic value, and rarity. Hype beasts. These people can buy what they like, but more often than not, they will buy whatever is in to follow the newest trends. A lot of times, they may not necessarily like a shoe, but they will buy it because somebody else has it, even if it means paying an outlandish price. Hype beasts generally have very often changing wardrobes and often spend the most on this hobby out of all types of the collectors.
Resellers. These people generally do not care about history or style of shoes. They just buy them for resale value. They'll try and sell anything they can get their hands on. We have already seen that $250 shoes can resell for upwards of $5,000, so it's understandable why these people exist. Resellers have the most risk out of sneakerheads because they're in it mainly for the money. Some people gain pleasure from collecting shoes, resellers don't. If they make a bad investment, they lose money and they have nothing left to show for it because they don't actually care about the shoes. It has no intrinsic value to them. Many resellers lose money because they don't understand the shoe culture and they don't do research into what shoes will sell. Some smart resellers make lots of money, but most don't. Besides the money that they potentially lose, resellers also have a lot of hidden costs. Most resellers sit in line outside stores on release day waiting for hours for a shoe, often in cold temperatures. You factor in the time and effort that most resellers have to spend. Most of them are making far below minimum wage. However, smart resellers can obtain shoes in more efficient ways and often can make money reselling while also collecting shoes that they actually like.
Came here with $1,300. Now I'm carrying over $3,000. It's like a brick. From what I sold today, I can buy 5 amazing shoes and still go home with more money than I came.
Back at the insane.
Resellers are largely despised by the rest of the sneaker community because they hinder the chance of people who actually want the shoe. Resellers play a huge role in the hype of the shoes. The largest reasons why shoes are hyped firstly is the manufacturer. They want limited numbers so that people can fight over them. Then, there are celebrities. They wear something and many people want to follow suit. Resellers are the third contributing factor in where they hoard shoes from the rest of the community and sell them at insane prices.
But some people want to buy the shoes to make money. Like retail, I think is about $180, and some people are going to be trying to sell for about $400, $500.
The person in this video is Jackson Lamb. He's a friend of Charles, and he created an online place where you can buy and sell sneakers in BC. It is similar to the NDSBG marketplace. BC's shoe marketplace has become a hearth of its own, spreading sneaker culture throughout the province. The impact is very visible, even in our own school, where more and more kids are becoming sneakerheads.
In summary, to tie sneakerhead culture back to human geography, we will talk about the 6 points. Assimilation. Sneakerhead culture closely assimilates with the fashion industry. Both of them have trendsetters that make items popular or not. Cultural appropriation. Sneakers were originally used to play basketball. As sneakerhead culture took ideas from basketball and rap, the entire community became more popular. Now, when you buy sneakers, it's not necessarily for basketball, but for looks and status. Commodification. One of the most important things about the sneakerhead community is that it relies heavily on commodification. In order for the community to exist, it must be able to sell, buy, and release sneakers to the general population in order to power the community.
Authenticity. This is incredibly important in the sneakerhead community. Without authenticity, the amount of money that it will cost to purchase sneakers would decrease immensely. Authenticity also hypes up sneakers a considerable amount. With the combination of authenticity and demand from the sneakerhead community, sneakers can be sold for huge amounts. Distance decay. The success in which business can be completed is directly proportional to the ease of the transaction. Things get exponentially harder with distance decay. For casual meetups, sneakerheads usually try to stay in their neighborhoods, sometimes venturing further if they really want something. When there are conventions, sneakerheads come from all over the country just to see if their desired pair of sneakers is available to them, and to also meet other fellow sneakerheads. Time-space compression. Time-space compression has allowed the culture to grow very quickly. Because of media outlets, figures like Kanye and Michael Jordan were able to become so influential. Advertisements are plastered all over social media, and everybody sees them now because of our advances in technology.